Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks, and I am here today, back into the old theme, back in time, if you may, with the Time Cruisers review. This is the Hypno Cruiser, and I am really looking forward to doing more of the Time Cruisers reviews. I even have some of the Time Twisters stuff, which is the same theme, different name, different group of people from the same theme. Let's take a look at this set right now. We're going to start off with the figures. From left to right, we have Ingo the Monkey, we have Timmy, and we have Dr. Cyber. Dr. Cyber used to be a NASA scientist, according to the LEGO magazine, and he found this strange hypno disc which had some time-traveling capabilities. He was able to implement it into a time machine and even like a flying boat. It's a lot of stuff they made related to time travel. As a closer look at Timmy, you see his face underneath. It's actually one of the few faces that has what appears to be a Lego nose. Very interesting for a kid or a teenager to have, but not the other older minifigures. So, taking a look back at the Hypno Cruiser, this thing is screaming 90s. It's got all kinds of wacky shapes and designs to it. Relatively reserved because it's light bluish, actually light gray, before light bluish gray. It's light gray with the hints of yellow, but you can tell, you know, the wacky engine on the front, the propeller on the top, the wings on the back. The wings actually don't make it fly as far as I know, but there's actually a couple interesting features with this. So you can take this cab out, which actually can detach on its own, and there's a whole bunch of different hats inside of here. You use these hats as artifacts for time travel, but also so that Timmy and Dr. Cyber can blend into their environment. Because when they're traveling back in time, they don't want to be seen, they don't want to be recognized and compromise, you know, the history of the LEGO world. So they use these as disguises, but also as references for what time period they're going to. So it's actually pretty cool to have these included in the set so you can have a little bit of minifig customization between them. And actually are based on sets from that time period in real history when LEGO released some of these themes like Spyrius and Unitron and what's the Ice Planet 2000, you know, some of the castle sets from that time as well, Western and Pirates, you know, so we get actually a bit of self-referential material here with the Time Cruisers theme in general, not just this set. There are even other sets that use hats in that similar way. The problem with the cab in the back, though, is even though it fits all these hats in here and it looks like a cool addition, it actually is pretty, you know, flimsy for that tube on the top. It's a great piece. I love that piece for detail. But if you were to move this Time Cruiser vehicle around, it actually pops off pretty easily. So that's a bit of a boo on there. You can actually lower the wings on here, but it doesn't really do much. It actually limits some of the movability for the cab, and they do fall off a little bit. Even the yellow engines on the side have a tendency. Yes, this is actually a pretty fragile model overall. Even the center area where there's a main play feature has a bit of fragility to it. I've had to fix it at least 3 times before reviewing this. And you can actually fit both Dr. Cyber and Timmy in here. Just be careful with it, because if you put too much pressure in while you're sitting them, they actually do break the floor. Not because of their weight, but just because of the pressure applied. Both of them have steering wheels to, you know, to use this vehicle, and there is a printed slope in between. So is it kind of like that that vehicle from The Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers? Ooh, haven't thought about that in a while. I would rather not. Let's move on from there anyways. We actually do have a bunch of interesting looks on the front. You can spin the propeller here. You have these little knobs that are on the wheels, and the Hypno disc is actually on both sides, not just the front side, you know, that we saw in the beginning of the review. And the interesting thing about all these Time Twister and Time Cruiser sets is when you move the vehicle back and forth, it will move a bunch of different functions on that vehicle. So depending on which one you're looking at, this one you can see the propeller moving, the Hypno discs are moving, and the wheels also have those little spokes that move up and down. So it is pretty cool. It, again, is fragile, though, because sometimes the rubber bands snap out of place, and then it just goes into madness, and you have to rebuild the entire thing. But it is a fun looking vehicle. It's definitely nice just as a display thing. Keep in mind, this is LEGO's original theme that has to do with time travel. This was before that they developed LEGO sets such as what we see now, Doctor Who and Back to the Future. They were inspired by Back to the Future and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. So, they actually reference that and even show pictures of that in the magazines when they advertise this theme. It's a very cool theme. I mean, for all the sets, they're pretty much cool concepts, cool designs. A bit on the fragile side and a little bit wacky, but I love it nonetheless. I did not really grow up with this because I skipped right past it. I was born a little bit after this time when these sets came out, but I do love it in kind of a retrospect, just, for looking back at an older thing, even if I didn't grow up with it. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time with more LEGO videos. There are more time-traveling adventures abound. I have more, like I said, for the Time Twisters and Time Cruisers to talk about. The Rocket Racer has already been reviewed. You can check that out on my channel. And there's also Doctor Who and Back to the Future, which I will review at some point in the future. Oh, that's a time joke, isn't it? Let me know what you think about this set, by the way. And you can check out more at facebook.com/maniac4bricks and brickset.com for more reviews that are not yet on YouTube. They'll be up in the future, too.